Majora's Mask is the most unique Zelda game ever. Okay, I guess that's not that controversial of a position to take. After all, it's true. More unique even than Wind Waker, Link's Awakening, and Adventure of Link combined. There are many elements responsible for this, but the one I want to talk about this time are masks. As the title implies, masks play a major role in both the story and the gameplay. There are 25 in total, each with its own design, mechanic, quest, and backstory. And tonight we are piercing the veils to see what lies behind them all, cause I'm Nintendo Man, and these are the Dopest Masks. The mask I love the very least. I don't even love it. I don't hate it. I nothing it.
Nothing.
This moblin-looking thing's design is based on the trained pigs used to sniff for truffles. However, as proven by Breath of the Wild, Link doesn't need a porky pet to track down the hardiest of truffles, but rather needs it to find magic mushrooms. Not those kind. The kind you bottle up and give to Kotake to make the blue potion. This must have been done by the Deku Butler's son, whose grieving father gives it to Link after beating him in a much tougher race than the one with Dompe. He oinks when wearing it, but it's just so ugly that I want to put another mask over it. A mask I call the brown paper bag. This mask is the very first step to the game's very best side quest. Given to Link by Madame Aroma under the impression that he's the investigator she hired to find her missing son, Anju is the only one that needs to see its expression of a worried mother. But like most masks, it generates a different reaction from most NPCs. This Pikachu-looking mug was popular with kids long ago as it is today, and thus carries a lot of nostalgia. Worn by the mysterious cafe in the brief moments he steps outside, he leaves it behind on the third day when he pursues Sakon. Link enters his little hideout behind the curiosity shop to find the owner, who then gives it to him along with a letter to his mom. It also played a role in Ocarina of Time's child-era trading sequence, but in the upside-down world of Termina, the Keton is real. Link wears the mask to summon it and gets quizzed for a piece of heart. The Giant's Mask is one of those brilliant game mechanics that goes very underused. According to its own description, it can only be used in a certain room, the arena for the boss of Stone Tower Temple, Twin Mold. Link gets it after defeating one of the giant flying worms with light arrows, and wears it to grow massive in size to annihilate the second one. According to a certain professional mask person, it is a truly rare mask. I understand the narrative and gameplay reasons to only allow it to be used in this battle are practical and technical, but how cool would it be to walk around Termina as a giant? When the frost of Snowhead melts in springtime, the Frog Choir reunites. Why their conductor Danjiro has turned into a mask is a mystery, but when a hungry Goron trades the operatic mask for some rock meat, he uses it for one of the game's lengthier side quests, reuniting the Frog Choir. One requires defeating the boss of Snowhead again to make it spring, one in Woodfall which requires the defeating of the first frog mini-boss, and there's an easy one by the laundry pool, but the one that takes you back to the second frog mini-boss in the Great Bay Temple is a dick. What's he doing all the way there? Once the choir is assembled, Link can don the Danjiro mask, and... that's it. The Gorman Troop is one of the Carnival of Time's regular events, so the troop leader doesn't take its cancellation lightly. He spends his last 3 days getting drunk at the Milk Bar. Nearby, the manager of the Zora Band is trying to put together a rehearsal jam. Link uses each mask to play each instrument while Gorman heckles each one. The final result is short and sounds nothing like the Ballad of the Windfish, but it's enough to move the jaded Carney to tears. He apologizes and gives Link a mask in his own image, filled with the feelings of tenderness left behind in the back of one's heart. Those feelings can then be extracted from Gorman's brothers, who burst into tears whenever Link wears it. This mask itself isn't as compelling as the quests involving it. Link acquires it by listening to Guru Guru tell the tale of his youth by the moonlit laundry pool. Then on the third day, he can go to the chicken farm neighboring Romani Ranch and listen to Darby Crash over here lament about. So Link puts on the mask, known for its qualities of leadership, and lines the birds up single file to a military beat, who then proceed to grow up before their very eyes. When the March of the Chickens ends, Lars Fredrickson is so proud that he gifts Link one of the more valuable masks in the game, the Bunny Hood. Between midnight and 4 a.m., a ghost dances on mushrooms. Kamaro laments that his death means his dance will never be passed down to the next generation, so Link plays the Song of Healing to wash away the spirit's sorrow and encase it in a creepy, faceless mask where the mask part was just moved to the top like a figurine or something. Link then uses the mask to teach the Rosa sisters the dance for the Carnival of Time they've been searching for, further earning a piece of heart. Kamaro's mask represents the joy a teacher feels when passing down their knowledge to a worthy student. In Anju and Kafei's story is a double-pronged fork in the road of time. After getting Kafei's letter to his mom, Link can either deliver it directly to her at the milk bar in the final hours, or he can give it to the bereft mailman who is struggling to cope with his purpose in life being obliterated. He delivers it to Madame Aroma at the bar and informs Link that he has been relieved of his duty as Clocktown mailman, and can finally escape the town. He relinquishes his cap, which is ironically filled with the joy of freedom, and can be used to access mailboxes to acquire a piece of heart, but not the most interesting article, Kafei's letter. One of the handiest masks in the game, every time Link starts the clock, his disposable items get drained. So it's likely you'll run into a situation requiring a certain item but don't have any. When that item is a bomb, you can apply this handy facial explosion device. It's filled with the feelings of gratitude of the old lady who gives it to Link for saving her from being robbed by Sakon, and it has many uses. Blow something up, clear a path, or just suicide bomb an enemy. The catch is that it causes half a heart of damage, which makes things interesting. My only problem with the blast mask is the logic behind it all. Why does the guard not help the old lady? Why does she give a bomb to a child? And who invented a bomb for someone's face? How the Gorman brothers acquired the veil of the ancient Garo leader is unexplained, but they do seem like the type to consort with Sakon. They use it as a disguise during their milk raids, but when Link beats them in a horse race significantly harder than the one in Lon Lon Ranch, they surrender one to him. He is then granted entry into Ikana Canyon, where he can continue using it to summon the dead Garo for a battle and a clue. It is said that one with the Garo's mask is one with quite a bit of courage, and one that can also make Redeads dance. Another recurring star from Ocarina's mask lineup, the Mask of Truth is one of the most famous masks in the series. Created by the Sheikah, it allows Link to speak with Gossip Stones, who reveal interesting secrets about both Hyrule and Termina. Its ability to see into people's hearts and minds is as useful as it is rude and creepy, and it's rewarded to Link after clearing the Swamp Spider House, one of the game's best side quests. The transformation masks all have sad stories behind them, but the first might be the worst.
Worst is first!
The Skull Kid curses Link by turning him into a Deku Scrub, and before he starts his first 3-day cycle in this form, he discovers where the possessed imp may have gathered the materials, by killing a local Deku bystander and taking its soul. Later on, after the Deku Butler race, and at the tail end of the credits, it's confirmed.
Holy shit, that's terrible!
The Happy Mask salesman teaches Link the Song of Healing to bind the mask, allowing him to shapeshift at will at the cost of a painful-looking process. With it come the powers of the Deku Scrub, water skipping, bubble blowing, and flower flying. But its gameplay isn't as good as the other two, or even its own harrowing origin story. Easily one of the most useful masks in the game. After reviving the Great Fairy of Clocktown, she gives Link a rare, normally unattainable mask that will help him do the same to the other 4 Great Fairies of Termina. It shimmers when worn in a room containing a stray fairy, and when one is in range, it flies right to him like a babe to its ma. It's still creepy looking though. I know. The Fierce Deities mask is one of the coolest in the game. How can I put it at only number 11? Well, for the same reason as the Giant's mask. It's a great idea with very little screen time. Yes, there are still narrative and game-breaking reasons for that, but still. The Fierce Deity mask is the 4th transformation mask and final mask overall. Link can only get it by earning all the other masks and trading them to the Children of the Moon. He is then able to turn into a fierce deity so powerful that it makes the final boss fight with Majora embarrassingly easy, which also has a narrative implication and is even described as just playing together. It is said to possess the merits of all the masks and the memories of all Termina's residents. The coolest thing, of course, is the design. Has Link ever looked so badass? He's like a weird ghost with a double helix sword. On one hand, it's the reward for completing the greatest side quest in the game, and indeed all of gaming. When Anju and Kafei are reunited just moments away from the apocalypse, their 2 masks combine to become one that overflows with feelings of love and gratitude. On the other hand, it's one of the least useful masks. All it does is elicit different reactions from people and one piece of heart from Kafei's dad, who is so moved by it that he adjourns the fiery meeting in his office. Whereas Ocarina of Time had the Re-Dead mask, Majora has the mummified version. Link extracts it from a man cursed by the Gibdo he was researching with his daughter in the Ikana region. The mask is so filled with the love of a parent and child that it pacifies all undead enemies. It also makes them dance. He then uses it to communicate with the half-dead zombies at the bottom of the well, which is really more of a crypt, giving seemingly random and riddled items to carve a path that leads to the Mirror Shield and a secret entrance to Ikana Castle. Captain Kida was the general of the Ikana army. He now lies restless after losing the battle that doomed the kingdom long ago. Enter Link, who disturbs his eternal rest with the Song of Awakening. They duke it out, and Kida recognizes Link as a proper successor to finish the job he started. So he passes on the captain's hat, which looks just like him, so it's like he wore a hat of himself. That's kinda weird. Link wears the captain hat to turn stall children, also dead soldiers, from hostile combatants to cooperative allies, confusing Link for their once lively leader. Must be since it earns the respect and allegiance of legions of soldiers, but also because it just looks like the guy. If Link prevents the old lady from being robbed, Sakon will spend the rest of the clock hunting for a different treasure. He sells his score to the only business shady enough to work with him, the Curiosity Shop. There, Link can buy it at the exorbitantly inflated price of 500 rupees. The all-night mask was originally used as a torture device, forcing its wearer to stay awake. While a coerced state of insomnia is incredibly dark even for the darkest Nintendo game, I imagine the torture effects wouldn't work on him because the dude already stays awake for 72 hours without the mask. I assume Link needs it to just keep from dozing off through Grandma's boring-ass stories. Which, first of all, rude, Link, you should listen to Grandma's boring-ass stories, and secondly, these specific Grandma stories are sick as fuck, for they recount the history and lore of Termina and the Carnival of Time. Grandma gives Link a piece of heart for each story he stays awake through by using yet another creepy mask.
I don't blink.
The man doesn't blink, Mom! The man doesn't blink!
Another super handy one that is given just when it's most needed. At least in the 3DS remake. After sneaking into the Pirate's Fortress, Tattle says she can hear something near the central tower, and with the Lens of Truth, Link can see what? A wounded soldier. When Link gives him a bottle of red medicine stuff, it's an ugly looking thing, but that's kind of the point. It's filled with appreciation for things that go unnoticed, explaining its power to make anyone who wears it invisible, as if they were as plain as a stone. With said power, one can traverse the land of Termina undetected, which is why nobody helped this dumbass. He was probably wearing it the whole time. Don't judge a mask by its face. Point is, this thing may look boring and plain as the animal it's modeled after, but it also has just as many uses. First of all, you get it by completing 2 of the best side quests in the game, the alien invasion and the carriage escort. Then Link can use it to enter the Milk Bar, a members-only club with live music and apparently alcoholic milk. Holy crap, it's the Korova from A Clockwork Orange. There, Link can do the Zora's Rehearsal side quest, complete Madame Aroma's quest, and purchase regular milk and deluxe beverage Chateau Romani, which grants unlimited magic for the full 3-day cycle. Romani's mask is a sentimental item that exudes maturity. The bunny hood is arguably the most famous mask in the game except for Majora itself, making it as far as the Smash item since Melee. Link gets it for completing the chicken quest with the Bremen mask and continues to use it for the majority of the game, because it makes him run as fast as a rabbit, which is incredibly useful in a game where a clock is always ticking. It doesn't go as fast as full-speed Goron, but it moves him pretty damn fast and allows him to retain his human form and abilities that his Goron form cannot access. The bunny hood is a fine thing filled with kindness towards animals, but again, I just wonder where they got the materials. The second transformation mask is forged by healing the sorrow of Darmani III after he died trying to save his tribe from a bitter winter. Like the other 2 transformation masks, it is used in a wide variety of moments throughout the game, and it features several abilities of the species that it's based on. Link can punch the shit out of stuff, he can carry powder kegs, he can curl up into a ball, do a ground pound, and roll around. And at a high enough speed, he busts out these big-ass spikes. But most of all, he also has the power to steal hotel rooms. The coolest transformation mask is obtained after Link saves guitarist for the Zora band the Indiegogo's from drowning in the sea. However, he was still mortally wounded from trying to save Lulu's eggs from the pirates and dies there on the beach. The closest we get to playing as adult Link in this entry, he can't swing a sword, but he can hurl his pectoral fins like dual boomerangs. He can also put up an electric barrier, use a new fighting technique. Oh, and this. Swimming is so fun and fluid in this game, just blitzing through the water like a torpedo and breaching like a dolphin. The 3DS version kinda sucks because it requires magic, but that does give more purpose to the Chateau Romani. The Zora mask is often referenced as the dopest mask Link gets in the game, but not the dopest mask in the game overall. It's not playable, equipable, or collectible, but it's obviously the most important mask in the game. Many mysteries muddy the history of Majora's Mask. For one thing, who the fuck is Majora? Was it created by the Ikana, the Garo, the Interlopers, or what? All that is known is that it's an ancient artifact once used by a tribe in hexing rituals, but was sealed away to prevent its wicked power from causing a catastrophe. At some point, it wound up in the hands of the one person wise enough to own it, the Happy Mask salesman. But when the Skull Kid steals it and puts it on, it possesses him, wreaks havoc around the land of Termina, and brings the moon on a collision course. At the end of the game, Link faces off with the mask in its 3 incarnations. Despite the great evil inside this mask, it's a beautiful fucking thing. What a design. A heart with thorns piercing it from the inside, those wide, fiery eyes, the wild tribal markings, and those colors. Majora's Mask is the Zelda series' darkest villain, a mysterious and abstract concept rather than a tangible entity, not unlike Gygus. It just wants to consume, and these are the things that make Majora the dopest mask. There's one mask that brings me great happiness. This one. For so long, I have wanted an official replica of Majora's Mask, and I recently came across a YouTube video for just such a thing by a company renowned for their quality gaming models called First 4 Figures. That was about 3 years ago, when I found they released a bigger, better life-size model made of resin instead of the PVC 3 years earlier. It's way more expensive, but that price tag is nothing for something I've wanted for so long. But now I have a lesser version of it, which I still love, and it can even be used as an actual mask. But why is this a limited time event? This should just be their most regular, most advertised product. Make it to order, I don't care, because I love Majora's Mask. And not just Majora's Mask, but all the masks in Majora's Masks. And not just the masks, but everything in the game, because I love Majora's Mask. Majora's Mask is my favorite Zelda game, so if you also love it, hit the like button, sub to the channel, and let me know your favorite mask in the comments.